Welcome to your September 2021 horoscope. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be covering all of the major transits using tropical astrology and the whole sign system. I strongly recommend that you watch your horoscope for your ascendant sign first and foremost, because it will be the most overall accurate for you. The sun sign horoscope will pertain more to your career and your life goals, whereas your moon sign horoscope will tell you more about your family life and your current living circumstances. If you have time to watch all three horoscopes, I recommend that you do so because it will give you a very well-rounded and blended picture of what you can expect for the month ahead. And now let's dive into the horoscopes. Hi Cancer, Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your September 2021 horoscope. On the 3rd of September, Mars in Virgo in your 3rd house will be opposed by Neptune in Pisces in your 9th house. The 9th house is about seeing the bigger picture and having faith that things will work out no matter what, whereas the 3rd house is all about your day-to-day schedules, meetings, your communications, and it also represents your mentality. So with Mars in your 3rd house, you may be wanting to micromanage your day-to-day dealings. So you may be trying to control the outcome of certain things, whether that's communications with family and friends, or even just control your surroundings. That was my cat, so I think he definitely agrees with me. Nonetheless, with this opposition to Neptune, you'll want to try and dissolve this anger or this tendency to get frustrated when things are not really working out. On a different level, this can represent you having an enlightening conversation with someone who's quite spiritual in nature and who actually helps you see the ways in which getting frustrated with day-to-day things is negatively impacting you in the long run. Okay. Here he is. Here's the star of the show. This is Franklin. Sorry guys, I had to start that one from the top. On the 3rd of September, Mercury in Libra in your 4th house will trine Saturn in Aquarius in your 8th house. The 8th house is all about sudden reversals and things changing out of the blue. The 8th house also represents your significant other's financial status. So this trine aspect between Mercury in the 4th house and Saturn in the 8th house can see you having a sudden sense of security or stability when it comes to your partner's financial situation. The 8th house, of course, also represents your mutual resources, so they can absolutely stabilize in this respect. Now, on a different level, this can see your family contributing in some way to you being able to study some kind of new course or upskill. And that's because Mercury rules your 3rd house of skills and short-term education. Now, on a different level, this transit can see there being some kind of spiritual initiation process happening for you. And that is because Saturn is associated with ancient wisdom and knowledge. So if you have been wanting to learn more about your ancestry's lineage and any kind of psychic or spiritual gifts that they may have been able to pass down to you, this is where you can really see this initiation process take form. And that's because Mercury rules your 12th house, which is connected to spirituality. The 12th house also represents your paternal grandmother, so you may be channeling wisdom from her. Now, on the 6th of September, Venus in Libra in your 4th house will trine Jupiter in Aquarius in your 8th house. This can see you experiencing a sudden change in luck for the better, and that is because Jupiter is associated with good luck and fortune. And once again, the 8th house is all about sudden reversals. Now, Jupiter rules your 6th house, which represents your work and your health, and it also rules over your 9th house, which is connected to education, travel, spirituality, and religion. So this transit can see you basically obtaining some kind of spiritual knowledge or occult knowledge, which helps to heal some kind of health issue that you've been experiencing. This could be connected to your female reproductive organs or even your fertility. no matter what gender you are. And this may come about by unblocking your sacral chakra. If you haven't heard of the chakra system before, or if you haven't looked into your sacral chakra, this is something that you might want to research if you are especially concerned with trying to conceive a child, fertility as a whole, and also creativity. Now, on a different level, you can have a sudden change of luck for the better when it comes to your current working circumstances. And also with Jupiter ruling your ninth house, there may be an opportunity here for you to join some kind of education program. And this could be something that you've wanted to do for a very long time. Now, on the 7th of September, there will be a new moon in Virgo in your third house, and it will be opposing Neptune in Pisces in your ninth house. So you may be welcoming a new colleague to the team, or you may be introduced to a new schoolmate if you're at school, a teammate, or a new client. This individual could be someone that you're introduced to via an education program, or you could meet them by networking in some kind of spiritual community or religious community, and you may form a very close one-on-one relationship with this person. And that's because this new moon will actually be trining Pluto in Capricorn in your 7th house. And the 7th house is connected to your one-on-one relationships and partnerships. Now, the 3rd house also rules over projects, communications, and learning a new skill. So some of you may decide to start a new education program, or you may be starting a new project. This could be connected to writing, such as starting a new blog, creating a new website, or you may be launching your own business. Now, you can be picking up a new skill, which could be connected to sales, marketing, or media. And also, this new moon will be in a wide conjunction with Mars, so you may be learning how to use some new equipment or a new tool. Now, on the 15th of September, Mars will enter the sign of Libra, which means it will be transiting your 4th house. With this transit, you may butt heads with a family member or with anyone that you live with. In particular, this could be with your children, because Mars rules your 5th house, which represents children, or it could be with your father, because Mars rules over your 10th house. On a different level, the 4th house is connected to property, so you may be looking at buying, selling, investing, or maybe you're simply relocating from where you're currently living. This can also see you renovating things around the house, and Mars is associated with guardianship when it is in the 4th house. So you may be wanting to put up a gate or some kind of fence to enclose your property and have more privacy, or you may be looking at putting security cameras around the place. Lastly, for this one, just a little warning to be careful during this period of time, which will be about 7 weeks, and that is because Mars transiting the 4th house can indicate burglaries, robberies, and theft. So just be extra vigilant with locking your doors and making sure that everything is secured. And I don't want to freak anyone out, this is just a general reading, but another thing is that Mars does represent fire, and given that it's in an air sign, just make sure you're double checking that you've turned off the oven and turned off the cooktop once you're done using it. Now, on the 21st of September, there will be a full moon in Pisces in your 9th house, and it will be conjunct Neptune, and it will also be sextiling Pluto in Capricorn in your 7th house. Full moons can indicate something reaching completion, and sometimes they can indicate a cause for celebration. Because this is occurring in your 9th house, which is connected to spirituality, religion, travel, and education, you may be closing the end of a chapter in one or more of those areas. So if you are in a spiritual or religious community, your work in this area could be published and circulated. Now, you may become a spiritual leader, or you may become a religious figure. Perhaps you've completed some form of higher education or some kind of further education when it comes to these areas, and now you are seen as a leader in your respective community. Now, on a different note, if you have been traveling abroad or even living abroad, your time abroad may come to a close. Now, because there's so much harmonious energy occurring in this full moon, I see this as being something that you are wanting or something that you are okay with. In any case, this can see your visa not being renewed, or maybe you're giving up your citizenship that you have in a foreign country. Now, you may actually receive support from a close one-on-one friend with navigating this change in circumstance. Now, on the 23rd of September, Venus in Scorpio in your 5th house will be opposed by Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house. So the 5th house represents your romantic life, and the 11th house is all about friends and your wider network. This one is a bit of an interesting transit because a lot of you may receive some kind of proposition from a friend. Maybe you had no idea that they were even interested in you, and now they're asking you out on a date. Or perhaps they are trying to initiate some kind of friends with benefits situation. For those of you who are in a committed relationship, your significant other may want to take more of an open approach when it comes to your relationship, and this could come as quite a shock to you. Uranus is representative of sudden upheaval and unpredictable change. So however the chips fall with this one, there will be an element of unpredictability here. Now, the 5th house also represents your children. So for those of you who have children who are a bit older, whether they're in their teenage years or older, they may decide to abruptly move out of the house. Now, lastly, for this transit, if you own your own business, you could have a sudden idea which totally transforms the nature of your business. With Uranus ruling your 8th house of sudden transformations and Uranus already carrying that energy itself, this idea that you have and that you decide to act on could have a very shocking result. And I see this as being an improvement on your current existing business. And that's because fixed signs are all about investing in something further. Now, on the 27th of September, and this is the last transit for the month, Mercury will station retrograde in the sign of Libra in your 4th house. Once again, the 4th house represents property, your living circumstances, your family, your ancestral roots, and it also represents your deep psychological foundation. When we have Mercury being retrograde in the 4th house, this can really shake things up when it comes to your current living circumstances. So just like we saw with Mars entering Libra on the 15th of September, and you perhaps initiating this relocation process, this is where things can actually start to take form, or this can be where contracts are undone. And that's because Mercury rules your 3rd house, which represents contracts, and it also rules your 12th house, which represents dissolving a situation. So you may be selling a property, moving out, you may be investing in a property. Now, if you are buying, selling, investing, signing a new lease, or what have you, you may experience a delay in the paperwork as represented by Mercury ruling your 3rd house. So if the onus is on you to provide paperwork, identity documents, or any kind of documentation to basically follow through with this relocation process, just make sure that you're getting everything in on time, that you've signed on all the dotted lines. You may just need to supply extra documentation. Just keep an eye on that. And also the 4th house represents your family. So if you are estranged from a family member, whether that's a parent or it could even be a sibling because Mercury rules your 3rd house, you may actually decide to basically start up a relationship with this family member once more. On a different note, if things have been very rocky with this family member for a long time, you may decide to just cut off communications altogether. Now, if you have adopted out a child, or if you were adopted, this can see you either getting in touch with your biological parents, or if you're the one that adopted out your child, you may actually be hearing from them out of the blue. And lastly, for this transit, you may just want to do a deep dive into your ancestry, and you can absolutely uncover some very secret information, and that is because Mercury rules your third house, which represents everything which is hidden, and of course Mercury itself represents information. And so Cancer, that's all I have for you for September 2021. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Enjoy your month ahead and take care.